So, Henrik and me, Nomi, we are back. We just had a break. We are in this conversation about what all this awakening is all about. And well, you can see, I'll link to the other video so you can see that one if you'd like. But Henrik had a question. And the thing, the higher consciousness talking about, or through me, they wanted a break. So we just had a little break and now we're back. So, Henrik.
And actually, I think this was your question, this one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, about the light worker and the helper as a role, maybe. And having a feeling about this is a changing organic thing right now. And if it is that, where is it moving towards, and how could it be changing?
Yeah.
What could be maybe the new role?
Yeah.
Or is it still the same, but just with some new preferences or something?
Yeah. I just have to say that the reason I asked that question is that was these 2.5, 3 years ago when the channeling started. It started like this, and it was while I was in meditation about the role of the helper. I had something going out on about wanting to heal something in the role of the helper. And then suddenly I started to speak English and channel.
And maybe it taps into healing also.
Yes, I think there's something very, very important about that.
Yeah. Because healing, I think, also is changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
how can we heal?
I asked Henrik, do you want to ask me the question? And then we'll see. But I'll just go into the mode and we'll have a conversation about this. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you talk about the role, and that is perhaps where we should just start. Why is it a role? And you, Henrik, you can just ask us if you have questions, because we will just speak a little bit around this.
Yeah, okay.
The concept of having roles is quite funny in our perspective. You see yourself as a role of a friend, of a mother, of a father, or a lover. You see yourself as the thing you work with. You are the mailman, or the director, or you are the helper, the teacher, the guide. Whatever you see yourself as, you kind of identify with it in your trying to figure out the conception of what it is, this life you are in. Sometimes we use the picture as a fish in a fishbowl. What is this place? We see you human beings sometimes in a fishbowl, not even knowing that you are in one. So just going around, blah, 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 having your daily life. And then suddenly you realize, what is this I'm in? We know it's water, but you didn't know you were in water because you were just the fish. It was the natural element for you, but there's something else outside the fishing bowl. So what is that for a thing? So that's just trying to talk something about this concept of understanding what life you are living. This is not a fishbowl, of course, but it is an experience of consciousness. It's an experience where you find out step by step how this construct functions for you. And every step in the process is important. We cannot just say, like we talked about before, something about oneness. All is one, all is fine, all is good. That is right in that perception, and it is very important, or at least it is very nice for you human beings to go around and feeling that insight, having the insight knowing that, well, I have this experience, but it's just part of the whole, and in the end, we are all one. Because there is no we, there is just life. So, when you see yourself in the role of anything, the light worker, or the helper, or the one who wants to do something, it helps you in your daily life because you identify with it and you can feel that you exist. That's important for you human beings, to feel that you exist, that to know that you are a person with a name and a contribution into something bigger. And that contribution is something that is special for you. You have some qualities that the world needs, and she has some qualities that the world needs, and everybody here all around have qualities. And yes, in the name of oneness, all the qualities are just one big rainbow of oneness, interconnected. The colors cannot be seen without the other colors around them. Or, yeah, kind of difficult for us to explain these things, but having it seen down in the form, the world of the form, and playing the roles of consciousness so that consciousness can experience itself. It's fine, it's part of the play. You call it the drama triangle. We have been speaking about this before, where the drama triangle has the helper and the victim and the aggressor. And each one of you can find yourself in each point of this drama triangle at different points in your story, at different points within an hour. You can switch in a minute and just having the experience of, oh, it's such a shame. It's a pity for me. Somebody must come and help me. And then somebody comes and helps you, and you can feel, oh, I am now reinforced in my own power. I must now show the world that I can do something, and then also take revenge upon those who were the aggressors before. And it's not a conscious thing that you do. It's just the play of the energy, moving around up and down. And if you see it in this stream of throughout the lifespan of one person, but also in the lifespan of generations, the soul's journey put down into form through time and space, even though it doesn't exist. You can see yourself, you can find yourself throughout different lives you have been living in the here and now. You can see at one time you were mostly the one who were the victim. In another life you were mostly the one with the power, who wanted to be the aggressor, to keep the power. Or the one who were the helper, that just had a big heart and wanted to do things to have everything be good. But now you can still keep on playing these games, but you also are on the cusp of finding a solution to that drama, a solution that doesn't involve anyone to be the strongest. It's a solution where it is not the helper that fixes it all. It's not the victim that is pointing out the problems and wants some savior to come and save the world. And it's not the aggressor who wants the power so he can decide what's best for everyone. This is a part of the fun story where you suddenly see that, of course, life can be felt. And sometimes you go through periods of times with war and personal crisis and all these things that is felt by your system in what you call reality in time and space. And it's suddenly you can see that yes, these things exist. These dynamics of energy exists. And there is, it's like, you call it taking the helicopter. There is also this enlightenment experience of suddenly seeing, oh, I put so much energy into this perception. And now I put so much energy into that perception, the perception of the helper or the victim or the aggressor. But that's just energy that I put into it. What happens if I use my energy the way I use my energy? You just can realize in a split second that it doesn't really exist. We can try to explain this, but it is an experience that must be felt from your inside. You cannot figure it out because you are so bound into these structures now, so you cannot just figure it out by mentally seeing it. The big turning point, the grand turning point is when you really feel it. Wow, I am neither. I am not a victim of anything, no matter what I have experienced in my life. It was just things happening. It was just life showing itself in different forms. And yes, I was the one who had this experience in this time span, and I was just an expression of life having that experience in another time. But it wasn't me. It wasn't the whole story of me. It's kind of seeing your identification process in a whole other angle. Before you had, and yet again still it's very easy to fall into this perception. You have a very go-to kind of experiencing identification. I am this one. But in a minute you can have an experience where you are that one. And sometimes you have an experience where you are all of it. And that leads into none of it. See, many of you in the therapeutic realms talk about, right now it's very modern to talk about narcissism versus empaths. And often it's empaths, the one who feels everything so deeply, that feels wounded by the narcissist. But that is a very black and white way to look at it. What about looking at it like this? There are different ways to experience oneself and one's experience of energy going through you, the power of life going through you. And you are solely, individually responsible for your own experience. Perhaps you could say, but he hit me, if that's the case. Physically or mentally, it's the same. He hit me, yes. And how do you react to it? Are you staying in it? Are you hitting him back? Are you going to your mother and saying, he hit me, he cannot do that, you should make him stop? Or are you so much in love with life through you that you can stand there and say, oh, I don't like to be hit. I think either you stop or I walk away. And then follow through with it. And that means meaning it so deeply that you love yourself and not, no, we would rather rephrase it. You love life through you so much that you want to really stick up for it, stick up for life. So if it happens again, you can with calm and peace say, I really didn't like it, so now I am leaving. may you find peace somewhere else. And then you keep your peace because you stand true to life through you. You are the protector of life through you. And it's nothing personal, it's just the way it is. And therefore, it is also in that perspective easy to fall into this trap of the aggressor, the one who hits, or the victim. But it's also easy to step out of it and saying, well, I am sovereign. I am me. I am life. And whatever happens to me, I still love life going through me. So you see some people, you take this concept of being in prison, for example. There are those people in prison who really do not like it because they feel, of course, bad about it in so many different ways. But there are also those who recognizes that they are free no matter what circumstances they are in. So they do not let their happiness be belittled, even though they are in prison, because their soul has found a way of expressing itself through the human being, whatever the circumstances are.
Yes, that was a version of something, and it was going a little away from the role being a light worker and a helper. And yes, I can see that people may have a need to be in a role to feel that they are doing something good, or what is in our experience feels good to be doing. And the question was, how is this maybe changing now? And I feel kind of from the answer before that it is again going back to consciousness evolving to a new place. But at the same time, we have been blessed with teachers and masters and good people who has been working like helpers and light workers. And when you come through to us now with these answers, what would you define your role as in this, as the teacher? Or because there can be also a part of this that is healing for the process we're going through right now, and even in, I think, as hope for the future can be a big part healing in this also. And so many things are connected with each other, but I think the question is the energy shifting a bit now, and where is it going?
Okay, lots of questions in that one. But let's start by saying our role. We are always the master and the teacher and the student all the time. But right now in this, because we are all evolving, we are all unfolding, we are all life in process of unfolding. All of us, you, me, her, you, everybody. But right now in this moment in time, we would say that we are...
Are you the helper or the teacher?
No, we are searching for the right word.
Yeah.
We are not the helper, we are not the teacher, we are the one to ignite. But what we ignite is not something defined. It is ignition of what is true for you, your inherent evolvement, like what we talked about before, the baby who suddenly walks and then are not the baby anymore. That is the inherent evolvement plan, so to speak. So we are just here to ignite that in you, finding out, realizing deeply that you should not listen to anything we say. Really, you do not have to listen to anything we say. What we would like you to, is to see what it turns on inside of you. What is your truth? What is your natural next step? We know that when she talks as the person she is, privately, she can have judgments about herself and others. And well, we see the point of it, but we also know that the ignition is different for anyone, because you are all on different paths, or at different parts of the path of the journey. And even the word journey, that's not the whole truth.
So sometimes we have to look for this new spark that becomes a fire burning inside, and a passion maybe even, for the role we want to step into.
But see, we started about
Roles.
trying to undefine
the
roles.
Yeah.
So that is also something mystical perhaps right now, because being a light worker, many of you feel that resonates, that rings true, and it is true on some level, because you are all made of the same material in the end, every human being, but also us. Everything is consciousness somewhere on the spectrum of formlessness and form. And it's only because you want to see yourself in relation to something else that you define these roles. So it's important for you because you have the experience of being human, and it's important for us because we are what you call higher consciousness, but it's all part of the same stream of consciousness. You like to make a hierarchy or a definition, and we do too in some way, but we also know that, for example, when we don't like to use names of who are speaking through this lady, it's because we do not need to identify ourselves so separately. So when you say roles, it feels like we understand the need for it, but we also want to dissolve it. The role of the helper. We would rather say, when you speak about now, something is changing about being a light worker and the helper. The thing that is changing is your insight. Your insight to the processes of life.
So we should accept the process,
of course,
of moving to maybe a slightly different place.
Only a slightly different place in your own consciousness, in your own inner knowing of your knowing. See, the big thing these days is that you are in masses waking up, having an inner knowing about your inner knowing.
And we maybe have to, in the inner work part of it, look for this new spark.
Well, the new spark comes in all the time. In the way you see the world, in the way your eyes catches the snow of the grass, how you hear your neighbors talk, the voice, something in it changes. Perhaps you hear a song that ignites something in you. Perhaps you just think the same thought that you had the other day, but now you think it differently because it just feels differently. And it's that recognition that comes natural, because that's just the part of learning how to walk.
So you could say that the way we sense things are changing.
Yes, because because your consciousness about what it is that you are sensing is racing. You do not have to work so hard on it. We say that all over again.
Yeah, I think you say this to Nomi sometimes.
Yes. She really wants to be good.
Yeah.
And
be the helper, I think.
Yes, and that's why we could open up to this conversation with her these years ago, because she wants to do good and be a helper and earn her way through life. She knows, like so many other of you, you know that you are here to do good. But being caught up in the role of it, I must be the one who can do good. That is making it more hard or difficult than is necessary. Because you would, just by your natural instinct or intuition, do the things necessary when you meet it. You do not have to concentrate, it just comes naturally. If somebody falls, your body would react and try and help. But that doesn't define you and identify you as, I am the one who is helping. I am a helper. It's just the natural part of life. And thereby you free yourself from the concept of being the one who is in a special way.
Yeah.
Perhaps you see
so
some...
we shouldn't get so stuck in the role of this.
Yeah.
Let that go a little bit.
And also if you see someone who falls and you do not have that instinct, then there is some information in it for you that perhaps it was the best thing not to try and help just in that minute, because perhaps the falling was necessary for the other to have an experience of that. Perhaps being the one to see it is better than actually helping. Because you, human beings, also have a need to have witnesses to your experiencing. So you do not have to interact all the time actively. Sometimes being the witness to the other's experiences is the most important thing. Being able to see clearly what's happening and without running away from it, without trying to fix it, without trying to change anything, being the one who can witness whatever is happening.
Then I think I only have one small question left. That is regarding healing, the whole concept of healing and the new consciousness. And it for me it feels like all the cells in the human body has this blueprint of wanting to heal itself naturally, and we as humans may be the ones who actually put in a lot of this blocking to stop this healing going in this natural process. But there is also a feeling, I think I share with other people, that the healing process is also kind of evolving right now. Do you have a take on that?
Yeah, well, we see that there are many new forms of healing that are more beneficial than the old ones, so to speak, because you understand energy better, you understand frequency and color and the whole concept of what your human body is made up of, that it is not as physical as you thought it was, and that frees the kind of, should we call it, tools that you can use to build the right constructs around you energetically, so you can have the fully functional organs as the body that you have. So it is kind of it's kind of, there are many details to this. There is this overall understanding that yes, self-healing is natural, that's how it works, and there are blueprint that is inherent, that is also always healthy. That healing is, it's not something that is perhaps the best way to say it is, it cannot be done to you. Healing cannot be done. Healing is happening in the right circumstances. So creating the right circumstances, or the better circumstances for your physical body to function in and the energetic system to function in, that is kind of a fun journey. But there's also this element of many people tend to heal outside of themselves. And you are now going into this understanding of it's all inside yourself. So you can heal another by healing you, so to speak. When you resonate with your own frequency, when you put up the better environment for yourself, both the outside and the inside, then you call it you have healed yourself. We would call it you have given yourself beautiful circumstances inside and out to be as much in alignment with yourself, as whole as you can be, as physical form. And then healing happens around you because you resonate that. Your resonance is the strongest healing power you have. And that comes deeply into your experience when you know that you are the universe. When you know that you are Mother Gaia. When you know that you are, whatever you call it, God, universal intelligence, whatever, love. We also don't always like the word love because you kind of have taken it down to the earth too much. But it is interesting to follow that journey of the healer. Not being the wounded healer, but being the expression of life. Knowing that everything is whole. Yeah. Does it make sense for you?
Yeah, I have the same feeling that healing is within us, in the light we carry at all time, and the connection with God, or the creating source of life and love, and maybe sometimes we stray too far from this, and at the same time we have in this world many healers who helps other people, give them this little push to activate the healing, and I think that is kind of the construct between humans, that sometimes we need this confirmation from another if we don't strongly enough believe in ourselves, and then in the other end we see this spontaneous healing, and people getting well again from a disease.
Yes.
And I like that you said there were some old tools that are not so valuable anymore, and there are maybe coming some new tools into play now, and I think that was actually the question.
Yeah, and that it is, perhaps it sounds like not a big difference, but it is a great difference if you are identifying yourself as the one who heals, or if you just know that I am resonating. When you know that you are the one who are resonating, you know you are, you call it if you are in contact with God. No, you are the one who are resonating. You are life. And that can ignite the other to remember the same. And that is healing. Because then the other also remembers, I am the one who vibrates.
Mm.
And then we can go into resonance. And of course, the one who identifies as the healer can also be healed by the other. When the other have the, for example, spontaneous awakening and instant healing, that goes back in the loop with the one who thought he was the healer. Just being the one to resonate. So when you see yourself as vibrating beings, letting life flow through you because that's what it is, then you have the magnificent healing power, but you cannot give it to anyone. You can resonate with it.
Beautiful. Well, that was the questions for today, I think, for this time, for this now.
Yeah.
So.
And you're welcome to go around and feel identified with any role. Of course, it's fine. It's no problem. You do it. But perhaps you will find out someday that it's not necessary. It doesn't make sense. I am this until I am something else. And then you can let go of all these concepts. But it's still fun to play around with concepts, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Or else we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and make new discoveries.
Yeah.
Or remember sometimes.
Yeah. We are in no hurry of going into oneness. We love it here. Okay, but we will say thank you for asking these questions and having a conversation. It is nice.
Thank you.
We will leave and always be around because we are already here, always. Bye for now. It's always very funny when they leave because it's like I just have to open my eyes and then
yeah, and you're back.
And then I'm back.
Yeah. Actually, I asked you a little question before, if how much of this conversation you hear.
Oh yes.
During.
Yes, that's right. You asked me that, I didn't answer. I remember everything and I hear everything, and I can sometimes feel like, who am I in this? But I remember these 2-3 years ago when it started, it came suddenly like this, and I had this experience of having a stream of energy going down through my midline and open up, like expanding.
Yeah, it was really opened up.
Really, and I just thought, oh, that's why they call it channeling, because I felt like that was a channel, like a stream of energy just going.
Like actually channel.
Really, literally. And then my consciousness,
it was like. It feel today?
It was like I just have to finish my sentence.
Yeah.
It was like my consciousness stepped back into my physical body. Behind the channel. So my consciousness was there in the back seat, and my eyes were closed and I couldn't open my eyes. I just couldn't open them. And they just talked and they calmed me down. And now it's slightly different. It's easier for me to go in and out of it, and I can be around it and in it. So the merging process, I think, is real. It's
so easy for you. It's so natural.
Yes, and sometimes I don't know what it is, but I speak differently when I speak like that.
Yeah, and I see sometimes it's almost like you open your eyes.
Okay.
Like just a sneak peek and then you close again. Or maybe the one you're channeling is just wanting to have a little look around. I don't know.
They actually did open my eyes one time in one channeling, I remember. And that was weird for me because my own physical consciousness and eyes it was like they looked at the same time as their eyes. So it wasn't very pleasant in some.
No.
It was confusing.
Mm.
But I'm so sure that we have to round this up. Yeah, but I'm very sure that this is just what is going to happen for all of us in some regard, that it is happening. It is happening for all of us in some regard.
Yeah, there is a awakening going on.
Yes, and it's not outside of us, and yet again it is. It's so not easy to explain, because I feel like myself, and I also feel bigger than myself. It's like John Mayer, bigger than my body.
Yeah.
But it's natural.
Okay.
So
enough for today.
Yeah. But we just wanted to share
and
something about the journey.
And thank you so much, Nomi, for inviting me. It has been really, really exciting.
Oh yeah, but anytime. Perhaps we'll do this again.
Yeah. Maybe.
And well, we just talked about that. We hope that some of you would have some benefit out of listening to this. Perhaps igniting discussions or
a little spark inside.
A little spark inside, reflections that can lead to something new.
Yeah.
Or just a calming into what is. Yeah. Thank you, Henrik.
Thank you.
For coming and having the courage.
Yeah.
Okay, I will close down for now. See you around.